What's up, Weirdo? Shadetree Surgeon here, back in the PNW, of course, hanging out with our friends at Legion Moto Co. We're here early. They haven't even pushed the bikes out front, but I always love Legion Moto Co. because everyone here rides a cool bike, and seeing an FXRD just hanging out front in this kind of shape is really cool. And it also makes me say, I gotta figure out what the heck's going on with Barf Party. We keep blowing ignitions. Absolutely wild to see one in this kind of shape, this stock. I think those might be like stock pipes. I'm not sure. If they're not stock, they definitely look like Scream Ego pipes, and it just makes me miss my FXR. And while I've got an FXRD fairing as well, mine's in nowhere near the shape of this one, though I think I am going to try to make the speakers work on Barf Party. Just like the Ride Factory back home, my favorite thing about Legion is you walk in and it's everything from Sportsters, shovelheads, Husqvarna dirt bikes, BMWs, sport bikes, and everything in between. Around here, they just like bike. What in tarnation? So this is a bike that they were working on last time I was here. It's the Monster Dyna for a man named Sherman. Apt name for a big man. They have taken every single thing on this motorcycle and made it big enough for a really, really big dude. And it just occupies this kind of uncanny valley space right now. I know this is a Dyna, but everything just looks a little bigger. One of the marks of a good build is it doesn't look like anything's been done that's that crazy. But this entire frame's been cut apart. The entire swing arm's been cut apart. This thing is wild, dude. How tall are you?
6'4".
So that's what it feels like for everyone else to stand next to a motorcycle. That is wild.
Roll leg over that. Let's see. Did you touch?
Oh, you can almost touch the ground. Yeah,
That's adorable, dude. He just needs a little lollipop. Frere Jacques over here, dangling his leg. Trick motorcycle. Shovelhead is back. And even though me and Jason threw some tires on it, the rest of what was going on with it was maybe not beyond my ken, but it can be done better than I can do it. That's for damn sure. So the boys over here at Legion got it the rest of the way fixed up, made everything safe. It's got fresh fluids in it, a brand new carburetor, and this thing's ready to rock and roll, man. We're about to hear it fire up for the first time. I feel kind of bad, man. I'm getting the very first ride on Shadetree J's Shovelhead. He's had the bike for about 4 months now. Today's the first time he's heard it run. He's only ever sat on the thing, and here I am riding it first. Run. I definitely feel kind of guilty, but not that guilty. And there's just something about riding a perfectly running Shovelhead with 8,700 miles on it, just tuned to perfection, brand new tires. Something about that goes a long way to assuaging whatever guilt I might feel. All right. A perfectly running Shovelhead, 75-degree weather in June, and now a view on top of it. My guilt is gone, people. It is long gone like it was never even here. These 80s FLTs, the last of the ones with the shovel in them, it really is peak Shovelhead. This is just the best they ever got. They were fighting Goldwing with this one, that's for sure, though I will tell you this, comparing this thing to a Goldwing, it's a little bit like comparing a crossbow to an assault rifle. They're playing the same game. They're trying to go to the same place, but they're not equals. That's just on the mechanical level, though, and that's just on how good the mechanical level is. Now, I love Goldwings, don't get me wrong, but the contraption levels of a Shovelhead, they tickle my fancies, every single one of them. And we could just roll on a shovel with a 5-speed transmission at 80 miles an hour and it feels as smooth as a brand new bike. That will always be an experience if you have any experience on rigid mounted 4-speed shovels anyway. Shovelhead till I'm dead, baby. This motorcycle is peak Shovelhead, and I think that the Shovelhead engine in and of itself is peak DIY. It's still a motor that you can get the top end off of in less than an hour. It's a motor that you can make go with baling wire, duct tape, bubble gum, and a can-do attitude. One of these motors would have to be basically melted into slag before it really stopped proceeding. It's built on the basic principle that the person who owns the bike is going to have to fix the bike. And while that leads to a lot of jokes about Harley Davidsons and having to fix them, it allows you to fix the bike. If you like to be self-sufficient, you want to know how to work on your own machine, baby, buy you a shovelhead, learn that sucker inside and out, and it will be hard to leave you stranded. I promise you that. The reasons I like it so much are that, man, it represents the very best of the old school style of thought. The last gasp of the motor company back when it was still building engines for their customers to work on, not their dealerships. And it may sound like an insult, but just like Joe the Mountain Jedi says about ironheads and shovelheads, if they were any simpler, they wouldn't run. All right, Shay Lisi on the KZ1000. You okay? You okay getting it around here, Shay?
I don't know. We'll find out.
5 foot nothing. That's a tall bike. All right, Shay Lisi on the KZ. I am on Shadetree J's white Dyna. Completely Dyna broed out, but very tasteful. And Cammy Bay being a passenger princess today because we're short a bike because the RV broke down. Good job. Man, we're doing a PNW ride. I'm actually on a nice motorcycle. What's going on here? This doesn't feel right at all. And Jason told me the whole story behind this Dyna that he has now and the one that he had before it. And even though he's got a Road Glide with a 131, he said he's never selling this thing. That's because the Dyna that he had before this, which was his favorite bike he ever had, he told me he worked so freaking hard to get it, and then he sold it to start a business. That's a sad story I've heard many times, but I'll say this, sacrificing something you absolutely love in order to build a better life for your wife and kids, that's about as awesome as it gets. And now he's got this Dyna, and it might not have the sentimental value of the OG Dyna that he busted his ass to buy, but he has a pretty damn good time on it, and I'm having a pretty damn good time on it myself. Out here in the PNW, a crisp 66 degrees on these beautiful roads in June. Yeah, I'd be having a good time on a Chinese scooter, let alone a badass Dyna. About to pull up to the sessions lab now. I have no idea how many people are showing up. I didn't do any kind of RSVPs or Facebook event or anything like that. We've been going 100 miles an hour. I meant to do a Facebook event. I just literally was going so hard, I straight up just forgot to set it up, man. So I really don't know how many people we can expect. It's also a threat of rain, but from what I understand out here in Portland, there's kind of always the threat of rain, and I don't know how seriously all the Portlandiers take it. Although we gotta say Oregonians too, because there's a lot of Oregoners out there who don't want to be called Portlanders. I'll be honest with you though, I don't really care how many people show up. I mean, it's always nice when a bunch of people show up, but if literally one single person showed up, we would have an awesome time, go on the ride, and it would be absolutely righteous. One person or 100 people, it don't matter to me. We're gonna have a righteous time. Dude, hell yeah. Hey! Count me slow, dude. Methodical, I'll say. My man came over here all the way, well, not all the way up from Portland. We came all the way from Tampa. And he came up here with this motorcycle over there, cosplaying as Rob Halford. I absolutely love it, dude. Hell bent for leather. Anybody who's ever seen Judas Priest live, that Rob Halford starts every single concert the exact same way. He rides out on stage on his Harley Davidson and sings Hell Bent for Leather from the back of his bike. Every single freaking show he does, dude. And I don't care what you think about Judas Priest or anything else, that's freaking cool, and that's a dude who loves motorcycles. So make motorcycles chrome again and make them leather again, too. Around me, you should never worry about being late because we'll always wait for everybody. My whole thing is I love riding motorcycles, but I'll sit around and drink beer in a parking lot, too. Can't tell you how many rides we've done where we meet up at the first bar and everyone meets up there and then we never leave.
Cool with that, too, but...
So we've got the internet's favorite grandma, G-Ma Rides, who I'm sure when we premiere this video, we'll be saying hello to everybody in the chat.
Yes, I absolutely will.
Make sure you go subscribe to her. She makes awesome videos and she's been riding for longer than most of y'all been alive.
That's actually true.
My man brought out the very aptly named
Piss missile.
The Piss Missile, baby. I wake up every morning with a piss missile myself. The coat of many colors, this is an absolutely hideous bike, and that makes me like it a lot. Pelican cases, pink bars, O-leans in the rear. I love an ugly bike with really expensive parts on it. We got a Gixxer 1000 front end, spoke wheel with dual disc, This bike is incredibly confused, very ugly, but looks very angry too, I would imagine.
It gets the job done.
Just like the piss missile, it'll get the job done in the morning. Just don't ask me to clean up the mess. Thanks for showing up. Just like we promised, it's not raining. Thank you for coming, man. It really means a lot to me, dude. You know you have good friends when they all show up in the rain. 55 degrees and it's raining out, and we still have this many people showing up, and I don't know if I have good friends or if I have stupid friends. Yes, either way, we'll take it. Is it even a ride in the PNW unless Road King Kong shows up? Yeah, dude, that's the fucking bike, man.
Awesome, I watched this whole process.
How many miles you got on that thing now, man? My man Kenny wants to know, the guy who built it.
34,281.
34,000, and still no problems except for the heat shield? Broken heat shield, that's the only problem in 34,000 miles. It's been across the country, everywhere and in between, with a tour pack, with a passenger. I love it, baby. It's so good. First, come here, you bastard. Good to fucking see you, man. Let me back up and get the whole thing.
It's like Ellie and Dee.
Hey, I be doing the bags on the shoes too. Checking out my man's Suzuki Savage chopper over here. Hardtail. Well, you see these things bobbed out all the time, which is cool when people bob them out and put the little fender on them, but to see one that actually went through it and did the entire hardtail on it really makes a difference. This is a cool looking bike, man. You got an Instagram or nothing like that?
Mark Hopkins, 1977.
You can't have a bike like this and not have an Instagram, dude. Come on, dude. You got to show it off.
Man, Instagram is nothing but this bike and chopper projects, man.
I always have more chopper projects than I have choppers. Funny how that works out. My man came up here, he had to drive his car, but he just got off a 13-hour shift at the sawmill to come hang out. A couple other people who drove their cars too, and I just want to say, as much as I appreciate everyone who rode, if you drove your car out here to come hang out anyway and say what's up because you couldn't ride your bike, I appreciate that so much. I think that's awesome. I already said it off camera, so you know I mean it, but I appreciate the hell out of you, dude. That's freaking awesome, man. No, you don't have to ride a motorcycle to come hang out, I promise you. Toyota Mike came out and he's even freaking giving us free Tootsies, baby. They're sopping wet. My man Joe Bowery on YouTube as well braved hail, storms, horrible motorcycle dealership, and Oregonian drivers to come up here. I appreciate the hell out of you, my man. I told everybody when the big brown motorcycle with the 7-foot tall dude on it gets back, it's time to roll. But of course, I actually don't even have my helmet on yet. Batting 1,000 today. Let's see if we can get these guys there in one piece. We got a new rider who rode up here, and he's so new that he doubled the amount of miles that he's ever put on a motorcycle by coming up here. But I stuck my man in the back with Lost on the Road and Circus Bear Moto, and I know they'll take care of him. Never be afraid to say if you're a new rider around me. I love it when people start riding motorcycles, so trust me, that's something I dig. Oh, my man. We got everything from CBRs to the piss missile, Dyna, choppers, bobbers, everything in between. We got G-Ma rides who's been riding for longer than most of y'all been alive. And we got dudes out there who've got 100 miles under their belt and they came out today. And even people driving their car just because they wanted to hang out. I absolutely love that. It's one of my favorite things whenever we go somewhere is, I don't know, dude. It's just something about the crew that always shows up. They're always like-minded people. I already feel like I know everybody already. They match our freak perfectly. They're a bunch of weirdos, anything, everyone in between. It gives me the fizz, baby. It just makes me happy. The skies have opened up. There's clouds all around us, but it's shining down on us. We got blue skies above our heads. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. I knew it wouldn't rain for long. That was just a test. It was a test. We're weeding out the non-believers. Remember, if the FBI asks, it's not a cult, but, you know, our great scaly goddess in the 9th dimension, 2 miles tall with big fake tits, is smiling on us today. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty stressed out. I was stressed out when it started raining. Stressing out, watching everybody that I personally invited to be here. You know, even if I didn't, like, do it, call you on the phone. I mean, if you watch the videos, I personally asked you to come on this ride and be here. And then watching about 50 people stand in the cold, freezing rain next to their motorcycles, I was starting to feel pretty bad, dude. I was starting to stress out. But the fact that everything's gorgeous right now and I'm on top of a really cool motorcycle with Cammy and the party tit on the back, that goes a long way to relieving some stress, all right? We're definitely taking it easy today. Got a lot of new riders back there, and we are going on some roads that are pretty pretty dang twisty, lots of elevation changes, some switchbacks even, and probably for a lot of the guys that are new riders, it might be the most technical road that they've ever been on thus far. So I want to make sure that their first experience on a group ride and their first experience doing these crazy twisty back roads is a good one, not a stressful one. I'm sure they're a little stressed, but by the end of it, I want them to feel good. There are a few things I love more than introducing somebody to the passion, love, very expensive hobby, sometimes tears, that is motorcycles. But it doesn't stop with just like giving them some advice on what bike to get. You know, if you've been riding for a long time, for years and years and years, I think anyway, that you have a responsibility to make sure that the people around you who are new to motorcycles are having a nice time. They're doing it the right way. They're not feeling peer pressured or bullied, or they're not, you know, getting hazed. There's always a little bit of shit. Expect to get a little bit of a hard time every once in a while. We're all riding motorcycles out here after all, but you gotta make them feel good about it though, and you don't want anybody to be scared or have a bad time. Motorcycles are supposed to be a stress reliever, not a stress inducer. So yeah, as much as I'm sure a lot of people want to just haul ass through these twisties, guess what? We're going the speed limit this time. As the old saying goes, you always got to ride your own ride and not push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And certainly there's some personal responsibility there that I absolutely agree with. But also, when I invite everybody out like this, the responsibility falls on me. Seriously, I really do feel that way. It is my responsibility as the person who invited all these people out here to make sure the ride proceeds at a pace that takes into account the person with the least amount of skill on the ride. I shouldn't say skill, experience. And if I sat on this bike and hauled ass through all these roads, dude, first off, I never would do that. Maybe a version of me that existed a long time ago might do that on a group ride, but the version of me that exists now, older, wiser, wiser is relative, I guess, but let's just say older and a few more scars, but at least wise enough to know that if I make somebody have a bad time on a motorcycle on this ride, they might give up motorcycles entirely, and I would hate that. Thanks for being tough. I know it was cold. That was freezing. Dude, how many freaking bikes do we have? There's a freaking way more than I thought. This many bikes showed up and it's raining out? That ain't fucking bad, dude. Everybody made it, although I skipped about 10 miles of really amazing roads because I forgot to turn off highways on my maps.
I'm watching him over, he's like,
yeah, Jason was trying to let me know, dude, but I've never met a person who's more oblivious than I am. This is way more people than I expected to show up when it's raining. I appreciate you guys so much. This is freaking awesome. And we kept everyone together. Everyone arrived alive. This stop anyway, we got a couple more. This is my man here when I'm talking about it's never too late. And he was just saying that, he goes, I thought my time was past. But then, you know, the midlife crisis hits us. I'm on my second one right now. Try to have one every other year. So yeah, it's never too late to buy a motorcycle. I'm super glad you came. Thank you so much, man. I gotta say it on camera too.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago? Welcome to the club. I love it, man. As we say, one more of us, one less of them.
Yes.
Gotta give the people what they want. You want to ride it the rest of the way there? I'll ride on the back. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's raining. It's not just like kind of sprinkling. I think it's unavoidable. It is actually raining. Well, at least the first part of the ride was dry. Hopefully I don't ice this GoPro. And the rain stopped again. We're about as far away in the continental United States as you can get, but dang, at least that part is really similar to Florida. If you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. It'll change. At the suggestion of someone on the ride when he looked at my route, which is just basically Apple Maps with highways turned off, he suggested going on a river road instead of going all the way down the way I was going. This only takes us a couple miles out of our way, but this is why I love suggestions from the locals, man. They know where the good roads are. And since I already beefed it up earlier and skipped like 10 miles of twisties because I forgot to turn highways off, I got a little bit of making up to do to the team back there. They're freaking looking like a Windows XP background out here. St. Paul, population 430. They're advertising that rodeo on the 4th of July, though. If we're out here, I'll definitely check it out, St. Paul. Anybody watching in here? Do I have one weirdo out of the 430 people here? There he goes, one of God's original prototypes. Too weird to live and too rare to die. Make sure you're following Heavy Handed on Instagram. Good dude. Helps us out a lot out here. Okay, we're at the Eastern Pearl, which I love because it's Asian food with pool tables and a full bar. Anyway, time to go to Legion. All right, this place was awesome. I didn't film here because everybody was hungry, very thirsty for a beer, and now it's time to roll.
Ride out!
Gmod just hit me with nobody likes a smartass, and that's funny from a grandma, because I'll tell you this, the first lie my grandfather ever told me was nobody likes a smartass. Bullshit! Everyone likes a smartass!
Likes a little ass.
Eastern Pearl was awesome, but we're ready to party with everybody, so we're heading over to Legion right now. I love the riding out here in Oregon, but I'll tell you, once you're inside of Portland, the riding kind of sucks. So we're just gonna get this over with so we can hang out. A couple people had to leave because they live far away, but we still got a really good group with us, man. Listen up, the Stig has spoken. Oh, I like that. Yeah, keeping people together in the city can be a little bit dicey. It's not a guaranteed thing, but I'm pretty proud of how we kept the group together on this ride. Gotcha. All right, cool. Now Shay's up next, man. I don't like not knowing where Shay Lacey is, especially when she's on a motorcycle that she can barely touch the ground on. Not that she's not amongst friends who would definitely help her out if she dropped it, but I personally want to know where she's at. Once we get in the city, it's a little rough, but that's all right, man. We had an awesome ride through the country. We kept everybody together. One washout. It was on a chopper that hit a little bit of gravel at under 5 miles an hour. Nothing hurt. No motorcycles were injured. No people got hurt. So we're just going to try to make the last 10 miles to Legion drama-free, and then what happens after that is up to you, baby. Ooh, talk about going through the bougie part of town. Bro, how are even just like the regular ass neighborhoods in Portland this beautiful? I guess this isn't a regular neighborhood. This is a super bougie neighborhood, but still, golly, dude, these roads are amazing. We are back in the city, baby. That was a cool ride through that neighborhood. Sorry to anybody who is trying to take an afternoon nap because we were making a little bit of noise coming through there. For the second time, my man made the trip over. Is it up or over? Up and over from Bend, Evo, Softail, barely running. He's gonna have to go drive back, and it's snowing.
Just send it, you know?
Just send it in the snow, baby. Luckily, he's well protected.
Well protected. Just rocking the van.
Over here at Legion, having a good time. This is always where we end our parties, but especially in them here now because they started doing hot dogs. Ate lunch earlier, but hot dogs are for dessert. This is the Bay City. It's got cream cheese, green onions, and everything under the sun on it. Made by the same guy who makes our drinks. He's pulling triple, double, quadruple duty back there. Delicious. What'd you get?
That one hot dog that's over there. I don't remember.
Good answer, dude. I'm the one that fucking putting you on the spot. Damn, dude. You gotta charge for that.
Delicious.
It is good though, isn't it?
Why is the cheese so good?
Cream cheese belongs on hot dogs. It's a family secret.
My man over here on the V-Star, the previous owner wrecked it, and he wrecked it once, and he goes, this bike has some bad juju, please bless it for me. Cami Bay is in charge of crystals, so I'm gonna have her do it. something that you never see coming. So we'll hang out with people, we'll talk to people, and I never know where they came from or what they did because we talk about something entirely different. And my man Zambit over here, who I've hugged 3 or 4 times, I just found out he's rolling out and I go, hey, how far do you have to go home? He goes like, well, I'm flying. Because he flew in here to come ride with us and rented a motorcycle. And he only told me now as he's leaving. I had no fucking idea, dude. Come here, you fucking bastard. Don't look down. Don't look down. Don't look, here it comes, baby. A small kiss on the forehead for coming all the way out from California. That's great. Myself, Joey, Shaylisi, and Cammy Bay just came in here and collectively lowered the credit score of this town by a few points.
Speak for yourself.
The authorities were alerted. There's a big rock over there and Cammy's already going on without us. That is a big old rock.
Heavy Chevy.
This was definitely worth braving Buffy and Trevor Town to see. This is freaking amazing. Thank you, Joey.
Magic.
Thank you.
Heavy-handed. Make sure you follow him. He's making our day today. Well, I'll tell you, here's what happens when you stand around like an idiot with a camera. Yeah, I just stood and let the tide go right over me.
Free feet pics. $4.99.
Wow, dude, you gotta be fast to get one of those, baby. Are you gonna eat a piece of crab cake?
I want to try it. It looks good.
Ooh.
Free fish pics.
It's good, right?
Do you want a clam?
Looks like vagina.
Ooh, this one tasted like pennies.
Too soon.
Too soon? Too late, you mean? One more misty morning on the old Power Pig here in the PNW. Cold and moist or not, I ain't saying no to doing this commute to work one last time before I head back to the Wang in 97-degree weather. And the bike ran out of gas before I got to the gas station. Phenomenal. Well, that sounds like a Shadetree Surgeon episode to me. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I only had to push the motorcycle for about a half a mile before I was rescued by Shaylisi and Cammy Bay over there with a can of gas. So we did make it here. We got the very first episode of the Sessions podcast recorded with myself, Shaylisi, Cammy Bay. Recorded the first episode of the Sessions podcast with my man Jason over there. I'm going to have the link to the YouTube channel down below. Please go subscribe. Let me know what you think for real. It's our first episode, so cut us a little bit of slack here, but I want real opinions. I want to know where you guys would like to see it go. I already know where we'd like to take it, but where we take it can definitely be influenced by, obviously, the people who watch it.
Like Sessions, it's for the people.
It's for the people, baby. Exactly how we're doing it. So we're actually taking off. We're getting on an airplane in a couple hours. On the Sessions ride, I received a very, very cool gift. Prototype knife that I can't say where it came from because it was built as a prototype by one of the knife makers and was given to the guy who then gave it to me. Anyway, it's seen a lot of use. He put a lot of miles on it and it still works great. But Jason is a knife guy. And when you're a knife guy, he said the way it looks now ain't gonna stand. Now, I'm not saying my man didn't take care of it. Of course he took care of it. He just used it. So I'm leaving this here with Jason, and when I said Jason's a knife guy, which you'll see on the podcast.
Clean this up a little bit.
Yeah, Jason is the knife guy. You guys have no idea. Actually, some of you do. I know we got some knife guys down there, but Jason's knife collection is out of control. We'll check back in with that knife when we get back, and we'll do a tour of Jason's knife collection. That's gonna about do it for this one. We got miles to go before we sleep and an RV to fix before we're back in the PNW. Till next time, y'all, keep it weird.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Shadetree Army, Shadetree Army, armies of the night, evil taking flight. Shadetree Army, Shadetree Army, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, panic spreading far and wide. Can the world oppose the deadliest of foes? Shadetree Army, Shadetree Army, who will risk it all to end the evil call of Shadetree Army, Shadetree Army. They never give up, they never say die, walking tall with banners high.
Shadetree Army, a ruthless gang of scum, villains, freaks, and bikers determined to rule the world.